The balloons had my name on them, not just "baby shower" or "it's a girl," my name, Joanna, in gold letters on white balloons that my friend Tamara had ordered specially and driven 40 minutes to pick up the morning of. I noticed them when I walked in and had to look away quickly, because I was already emotional in the way that 7 months of pregnancy makes you emotional, where beauty arrives too fast and you have no defense against it. 30 women in that living room. My mother, my aunts, colleagues I genuinely liked, friends from different chapters of my life gathered in the same room for the first time. The kind of afternoon that doesn't happen often, and that I had told myself, firmly, I was allowed to receive. I was learning to receive things. It had taken work. Constance had arrived early, which I should have registered. She liked to establish herself in a room before other people filled it. She had explained this once as being considerate, giving the host time to greet her properly. I had been with her son for 6 years and I had learned her the way you learn a climate. Not with resentment mostly, just with accurate attention. She was not a cruel woman. She was a woman who experienced other people's joy as something that should naturally expand to include her, who moved toward the center of things the way water moves toward low ground, not with intention, just with gravity. She hugged me warmly when I arrived, told me I looked beautiful. She meant it. Both things were true simultaneously, which was always the complicated part with Constance. The afternoon was genuinely good for a while. The games were silly in the right way. The food was better than expected. I opened gifts and meant my gratitude and felt, in the way I had been hoping to feel, surrounded. Tamara sat beside me the whole time with the quiet attentiveness of someone who knows you well enough to watch the room on your behalf. I had told her weeks ago that I was nervous about Constance in an unspecific way I couldn't fully articulate. Tamara had nodded and said, "I'll be right there," and left it at that. We were between the games and the gifts, that soft middle part of a shower where everything is warm and slightly unfocused, when Constance stood up. I saw it before it happened. The posture first. The way she positioned herself where the afternoon light came through the window at the angle that was most flattering. I had seen her stand in rooms before. I knew the difference between standing to help and standing to be seen. She put her hands on her stomach. She smiled the smile of someone delivering news they have been holding carefully, like something precious. "I hope you'll all forgive me," she said, "but I have to share something while we're all together." 30 heads turned. I felt Tamara's hand find mine under the table. Not dramatically, just a quiet, steady arrival, fingers closing around fingers. I held on. The announcement took maybe 45 seconds. Constance was 11 weeks along. She was thrilled. She hoped her grandchild and her new baby would be close. She sat back down to a room that was reorganizing its attention, recalibrating its warmth, redistributing the afternoon's finite supply of joy. I kept my face still. I was good at that. I had a child growing inside me who would one day need me to be good at that. My Aunt Rosalie was 67 years old and had buried a husband and raised 4 children and had, as far as I could tell, 0 tolerance for the particular kind of theater that requires an audience's complicity. She picked up a gift from the table beside her, large, wrapped in yellow paper, my name on the tag. "Joanna," she said, not loudly, just clearly. "This one's heavy, so you should open it while you have the energy." She said it with a pleasantness that left no room for argument. The room followed, the way rooms do when someone certain shows them the direction. Heads turned back. Someone laughed. The afternoon gathered itself and continued. Constance smiled and said nothing. She understood, I think, that the moment had closed. "Huh!" In the kitchen afterward, Tamara washed dishes and I dried them and neither of us spoke for a few minutes. Then she said simply, "You okay?" "Getting there," I said. That was the most honest answer I had. My husband called on the drive home. I told him it was lovely, which was partially true and the part I chose to lead with. The other conversation, the fuller one, could wait for the right moment, which I would decide. That choice felt important to keep. I drove with one hand on the wheel. The other moved without thinking to my stomach. I thought about my daughter, about what I already knew, with a certainty that surprised me with its quietness, about the kind of mother I intended to be. Not a declaration, not even a promise, just a fact I was already living. The highway opened up ahead of me and I drove toward home.